What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and a stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below as it's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, thanks so much for hitting the like button for us down below. In this video, we're going to talk about new $1,000 stimulus checks that were just announced that could be coming to potentially a lot of people. And former President Donald Trump could be in hot water. And Mitch McConnell, leader of the Senate, is kind of threatening President Biden. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Let's jump right in. Yeah, so as you can see here, apparently the January 6th panel that has been investigating um, the incident has evidence for a criminal referral of former President Donald Trump, but they're split on sending this to for a criminal inquiry. Here's the details. Yeah, the leaders of the U.S. House of Representatives committee investigating the Capitol attack have grown divided over whether to make a criminal referral to the Justice Department of former President Donald Trump, even though they have concluded that they have enough evidence to do so. People involved with the discussions have said. The debate centers on whether making a referral, a largely symbolic act, would backfire by politically tainting the Justice Department's expanding investigation into the January 6th assault and what led up to it. Since the summer, a team of former federal prosecutors working for the committee has focused on documenting the attack and the preceding efforts by Trump and his allies to reverse his defeat in the 2020 election. The panel plans to issue a detailed report on its findings here, even though we're more than 2 years later. But in recent months, it has regularly signaled that it also is weighing a criminal referral that would pressure Attorney General Merrick Garland. Remember, he was actually supposed to become a Supreme Court justice, if you remember that whole situation, to open a criminal investigation into former President Donald Trump. But now, with the Justice Department appearing to ramp up a wide ranging investigation, some Democrats are questioning whether there is any need to make a referral and whether doing so would saddle a criminal case with further partisan baggage at a time when Trump is potentially running again in 2024. This comes after just a ruling 2 weeks ago by Judge David O. Carter in the U.S. District Court for Central California decided a civil case in which the committee had sought access to more than 100 emails written by John Eastman, a lawyer who advised Trump on efforts to derail the certification of the Electoral College outcome. Judge Carter found that it was, quote, more likely than not that Trump and Eastman had committed federal crimes. I guess really the big question here is that will Trump be charged with a criminal charge? And then, of course, there would be a major defense. Even just a charge here would be a major thing. To charge a former president of the United States with a criminal charge, then obviously a major defense would be a huge major deal here. And of course, everybody would, a lot of people would say this is a political stunt. A lot of people would say, oh, no, it's warranted. It really depends on what side of the fence you're on. Republicans would say it's a political stunt. A lot of Democrats would say, oh, no, it's warranted. A lot of people would have completely different opinions on this. Like I said, it really depends on your political beliefs here. But It's really a tough call, and like I said, a lot of people are going to have completely different opinions on this. You can ask 500 people and get a wide range of different thoughts and different opinions on this, and yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what happens here, especially as this has taken 2 years to come to this already, and former President Donald Trump does seem to be the leading candidate for the Republicans in the next election. And you can let me know your thoughts on what you think will happen here going forward. So I'll keep you up to date. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, the Republicans, the Senate GOP stands for Grand Old Party, an old nickname for the Republican Party, vows to rein in Biden if they win the majority. And we've actually had kind of some threats from them in the House as well, previously saying that they would actually try to impeach Biden for, well, they could probably do it for practically anything. If you actually go back here, House Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene actually said that she would introduce and did introduce articles of impeachment against President Biden. She said she was going to do it before he was even president. And I think she actually introduced it on like the day of or the day after he became president. So, yeah, I mean, when you say you're going to introduce articles of impeachment before somebody even becomes president, I mean, again, you can, let me know your thoughts on this. But, this is where we get into, one party hates the other, and they'll kind of do whatever it takes to smear the other party, and again, you could say that both parties do this to each other, right? So, yeah. But Mitch McConnell says if Republicans retake Congress, quote, we'll make sure that Joe Biden is a moderate. Sounds like a threat to me. Yeah, here's what Mitch McConnell had to say.
I wanted to ask you about the midterms next anyway, so you have a great way of transitioning, sir. So inflation, gas and groceries, this is on everybody's minds. What would be different for Americans if Republicans win back the majorities in the House and Senate this year?
Well, our agenda next year, if we're fortunate enough to be in the majority, will be focused on exactly what you and I have been talking about: crime, education, beefing up the defense of our country. The president's request for the Defense Department in this year's request doesn't even keep up with inflation. We got a war going on in Ukraine. We got big power competition with the Russians and the Chinese. We need to meet the demands of the international situation. So all of those will be on our agenda. We will not have the presidency for 2 more years. Obviously, we'll have to work with the administration to see what we can agree on. But we want to turn the let me put it this way. Biden ran as a moderate. If I'm the majority leader in the Senate and Kevin McCarthy's the Speaker of the House, we'll make sure Joe Biden is a moderate.
Speaking of Joe Biden, once again transitioning for me, Mark Penn, a Democratic pollster, we asked him this week what he thought about the president's poll numbers and why they were down. You've known the president for decades. Listen to this, and I'll get your response on the other side.
He did have this image of being a kind of a likable Uncle Joe, Ice Cream Joe, kind of friendly. And I think he's lost that.
Do you think he's lost it?
Well, I think his policies have not worked, beginning with the precipitous and ill-advised withdrawal from Afghanistan, which became kind of a metaphor for the incompetence that's been on full display during this administration. None of the policies they've pursued have worked out well. The $2 trillion they dumped on the economy last year, against the advice of economists like Larry Summers, produced the 40-year wave of inflation. Everybody's seeing that when they fill up their automobiles, when they go to the grocery store. Their policies have produced a virtually open border, The previous administration did a good job at the border. They reversed all those policies, and we've been paying the price for that. We have a crime wave in the country, and they're continued to promote policies that, in my view, are pretty much soft on crime.
To be clear, when I said has he lost it, I was referring to likability, is what Mark Penn said, that he had lost likability. So we'll see how that goes. Do you have a thought on that?
Yeah, I like the president personally. It's pretty clear to me that personality is, in my view, not what's driving his unpopularity. I think it's the policies they've been pursuing.
Yeah, so seems like Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden, despite being longtime friends, doesn't seem like there's a lot of love there anymore. Remember, Mitch McConnell was actually the only Republican to go to Joe Biden's son's funeral many years ago. Just seems like they really don't get along much anymore. But let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I find it interesting that Republicans, blame inflation on the Democrats' stimulus check um, that happened at the end of March and their stimulus package, but they don't blame it on the stimulus checks and stimulus packages that were passed underneath Donald Trump. Now, remember that Donald Trump's first stimulus check and stimulus package, the first stimulus package he passed was more money. It was $2.2 trillion. That was the largest stimulus package that was passed yet to date. The American Rescue Plan, which was passed by Biden, that actually the checks were larger, they were $1,400, but the total cost of that plan was only 1.9 trillion. So, and again, I'm a middle of the road guy, and I'm just looking at the numbers here. I find it interesting that each party always blames the other, but why do Republicans blame the inflation on the Democrats when Trump passed multiple packages, and the first stimulus package was $2.2 trillion underneath Trump, and Biden's stimulus package was 1.9 trillion, but yet they blame all the inflation on Biden. When Trump's stimulus, his first stimulus package alone was 2.2 trillion. And again, if you don't really kind of hear these things from me, it wouldn't make sense to you. But in all reality, if you've been watching my show, you would know that neither of those are really the driver of inflation, because you would know that inflation is going on all around the world. Gas prices are up all around the world. Gas in the United Kingdom is $8 a gallon, US dollars. Gas prices in Canada is around $6 a gallon. Now I know that that's what the price is in California here, but in the average of the U.S. is around $4.19 a gallon. California is different because they have outrageous taxes and they have to have a different blend. California is just kind of a different animal itself, but largely, like Canada is 50% higher gas prices than the rest of the U.S. The United Kingdom is $8 a gallon. You look at prices of Australia, prices of Hong Kong is $10 a gallon for gas. And food prices now around the world are the highest they've ever been, not just here in the U.S. So these inflation is a global thing. It's not just here in the US. So you can't really blame inflation, like I said, on stimulus check number one underneath Trump, or stimulus package underneath Trump, or stimulus check number three or package number three underneath Biden, because it's really not either one of those things. Because it's not, because you could look at inflation in the United Kingdom. You could look at inflation in Australia. You can look at inflation in Hong Kong. You can look at inflation in food prices around the world. And none of that equates to the stimulus check help or the stimulus package help or the food assistance help or any of these things that they're helping the poor people out with. I mean, in all reality, you have to help out poor people and middle income people when they're starving and hurting. I mean, what is the alternative? Oh, people are starving. Oh, people are hurting. Oh, people are getting thrown out on the street. Let's not help them. Like, come on, let's be realistic here. Inflation's at a 40-year high. Let's not help the people. That's the alternative. Come on, guys, let's be realistic here. And that's why right now we have all these states that are literally stepping up to the plate saying, let's help our people. Inflation's at a 40-year high. Let's help our people. Because it's not a Democrat, it's not a Republican thing. It's we need to help our people thing. And that's why when we hear the oh it's your fault thing, that's not what it's about. And when you look, that's why I like to tell you guys this stuff, because if you just hear the rhetoric of Republicans blaming it on Democrats or Democrats blaming it on the past president, you're gonna hear that, one party versus the other thing, and you're just gonna believe it, right? It's going on all around the world, and you just gotta not believe that stuff because it's not true. And inflation is going on in every country around the world. I mean, maybe there's a one or two countries somewhere, maybe, that isn't experiencing inflation for some anomaly reason, maybe. Uh, and I'm just saying maybe because I'm sure you could probably find something somewhere for some odd reason that maybe they don't have inflation. But for the most part, inflation is going everywhere in the world. It's just the reality of things. But thankfully, we have stimulus check proposals, SNAP benefits, and I mean, check this out right here, right now. If you've been watching my channel here, you know that I'm keeping you, up to date on all these different states and the federal government that is, wanting to pass stimulus checks. Here's the latest one. The New York State Senate, Senator Daphne Jordan advances a common sense amendment to the state budget to establish $1,000 quote family freedom inflation relief checks to help New York families being hurt by inflation. Yeah, that's about as large as I can make it here. Directly from the New York State Senate. Now we know New York is one of the largest states here, for people. So this is a brand new proposal here. Here's who it would go out to. We have another one here as well that is for $250 gas checks for New York residents per person, or $500 for married couples. That was just proposed here as well. But here is the details on this one. You can see here New York State Senator Daphne Jordan, who is I believe RC. I don't know if she's a Republican because I don't know why there's three different symbols here. Says tonight advanced a common sense amendment to the state budget that would provide $1,000 family freedom inflation relief checks to help hardworking families financially hurting from rising inflation coupled with New York's already crushing cost of living. And honestly, inflation's hurting, so let's help people. And we're seeing more and more states decide to do this. This one hasn't been passed yet, but we're seeing more and more states do this, and we're seeing a lot of states pass these as well. If you've been watching my channel, I'm keeping you up to date here on all these. The amendment advanced by Senator Jordan on behalf of the Senate Republican Conference during tonight's Senate session was offered to Article 7, Senate Bill S.8009C, the Senate Revenue Bill, one of the 10 bills compromising the 2022-23 state budget. The proposed amendment was relevant to the revenue bill as it amended state tax law and would have provided much needed relief for hardworking parents across the state. The amendment would provide $1,000 in direct relief to assist qualifying families in coping with the high cost of childcare, paying for their child's education, or provide caregiver support to help families with elderly or disabled family members. So it doesn't go into a lot of specifics on exactly more than this who would qualify. I tried to look for more information, but this is what it says. It says it would assist qualifying families in coping with the high cost of childcare, paying for their child's education, or providing childcare support to help families with elderly or disabled family members. So, past that, that's all the information I have as of this moment. But it would provide a $1,000 direct relief, which direct relief is a check for all these different groups of people in the state of New York. And it would provide an individual taxpayer who meets these eligibility standards the $1,000 payment. And it says that this would help our fellow New Yorkers struggling financially and genuinely they need a helping hand because of the prices of gasoline and groceries and basic necessities that families depend on. The other one from another state senator has proposed a $250 gas check, but you don't have to use it on gas. You can literally use it for anything. Would be $250 per person or $500 per married couple. Senator Elijah Melnick, who's a Democrat, is proposing to give all current state residents who have registered a vehicle in New York State during the past 2 years a $250 check through the State Energy Research and Development Authority. Yeah. So, and again, this is just for New York. I will keep you up to date with all these. California has another really big one, $400 per person or $800 per couple. Illinois has one. Sorry, literally a lot of different states. Maine has one. Alaska has one. A lot of different states coming out here almost by the week. So, as well as the federal government, multiple different proposals here for a fourth stimulus check on the federal level. So, I will keep you up to date here with everything you need to know about on a daily basis. Don't miss any new episodes. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure to click the subscribe button down below to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so. After clicking the subscribe button, click the bell icon that appears next to the subscribe button to get reminders when we go live with new videos. You can click here to watch my newest video next. And here's another interesting video I just did about how low to middle income people can get up to $6,935. Very interesting video you should watch as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.